Debbie Aguero was horrified to learn that Oussama had lied once more. This time, it concerns his entire future strategy. On 90-Day Fiance, the other way, Debbie relocated to Rabat, Morocco, to live with him. He promised her last week that she will take him to America. Debbie informs Oussama on the Sunday, April 30th episode that she won't be his financial supporter. She won't wed him in order to secure his visa. She finds it repulsive that he has shown to be the scum of the earth. When she declines to take him to America, Oussama responds that he will break up with her right away. Your actual strategy is to just arrive, obtain a visa, and travel to the United States. That's how it works. Debbie accuses with authority, and in reality, Oussama is not dissenting. Debbie may not be aware of it, but he seems to be acting like it makes sense. Oussama tells the woman straight out that his plan is to get a visa, come with you, and then go to work in the US. Wow. Not as many, but a few con artists and schemers have previously appeared on the franchise. However, they typically don't make their nefarious plans known to the public. This appears to Oussama to be routine. Oussama continues by saying he can make lots of money in the US. In particular, he wishes for the US to be a market for his art, much like many American painters. It's uncertain whether Oussama's objectives are feasible. He worries that his art will never be profitable in Morocco. In a vulnerable moment, Oussama admits his desperation and says, there is no future for him in Morocco. However, any pity one might have for him quickly disappears, because he immediately starts making demands of Debbie. Then, to a hurt and enraged Debbie, Oussama yells, "You will bring me to the USA." As it all dawns on her, Debbie sulks while sitting there. Debbie says, "It's all about your future." She's correct. And Oussama makes no attempt to object. He sounds like he considers her as a step in his life plan, yet he is only 24 years old. He also acknowledges in front of the camera that he had previously told Debbie that they would reside in Rabat. However, he is now telling her that he only has a future in the United States and not in Morocco, and he freely admits that, in contrast to what he had previously told Debbie, it was actually his intention to relocate abroad rather than Debbie. He acknowledges that Oussama has only had one objective in mind the entire time. He wouldn't be able to start working immediately soon, of course. He is therefore pleading with Debbie to alter her plans. Get married to him, and provide him financial assistance for a while in the hopes that he may succeed in Georgia's art scene. It goes without saying that this is all terrible news, not simply the betrayal and pain. Debbie is very clear in feeling that this validates the worst fears that her loved ones had stated. Debbie finally admits to him, "I appreciate an artist and a poet, but I'm not supporting a man." We ponder whether she had to consider it. Or perhaps she had considered what to say if Oussama displayed this repulsive side. That seems like a simple issue to Oussama. So, he says, "I'll stop this." In other words, he'll end his relationship with Debbie if she doesn't agree to his unexpected new plan. He will immediately sever this connection, if there is one. When was that mentioned during our 3 years of talking? Debbie, speaking to the confessional camera, asks aggressively. She goes on to add, in a comical way, that she is using every bit of her self-control not to knock him into next week. After that, Debbie says, "You're scum of the earth." Back then, in the midst of the argument, Debbie publicly chastises Oussama, telling him he should feel ashamed. But telling Oussama he's nasty and creepy and other things doesn't seem to have any effect on him. He merely adds his personal jabs. While oblivious to how he has harmed her, Debbie and Oussama were still arguing when it became evident that they had not broken up right away because they later collaborated on confessionals. This may have been filmed weeks, or more, after production. Even though he admitted otherwise, he is suddenly asserting that this was always their plan and accusing her of lying. Debbie remarks from just next to him, "You're a cold-blooded serpent right now. A distasteful enterprise all around."